What is the lifetime of a piercing? How long can it last? Coming up next on a brand new series called New to Piercing, episode number 1. For those that are new to the channel, welcome to the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Hope you find them useful and helpful and all that fun stuff. But you might not know who I am. My name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and I operate the Axiom Body Piercing studio located right here in Des Moines, Iowa, inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. What this is a brand new series. Basically, it's going to be designed for those that are brand new to piercing. Maybe they had their first piercing. Maybe they're planning on getting a piercing in the near future. Or maybe they're still a little confused about certain things. Very basic topics, kind of like body piercing basics was at the beginning. A little less inside baseball because that seems to have gone kind of in that direction over there. And I'm going to continue that series. I have a bunch of those coming up in the future. But this one is more geared towards those that are new to it and hopefully can gain the passion that I have for piercing. So what we're going to talk about today is the lifetime of a piercing. And when I talk about a lifetime is the period of time that you definitely can have that piercing. And I've broken this up into a number of different groups. The first one being the forever piercing. This is a piercing that regardless of whether or not the jewelry is in there, once it's healed and seasoned and it's been in there for about a year or so, no matter how long you leave the jewelry out, it's still open. You can still get jewelry back in it. This is a rare thing. There's only really 2 or 3 piercings that definitely can be like this. One of them being this, probably the most common would be the septum. The other 2 would be genital piercings like a Prince Albert or a clitoral hood, and any piercing that's been stretched. Like earlobes, once you stretch them to a certain point, usually right around 2 gauge, and you get up to those, start getting into those much thicker jewelry, it just gets to a point where the body doesn't have the ability to kind of constrict that area and close it again and reattach that tissue. But these are fairly rare. Now, I know there's going to be a few of you that say, oh man, I have this piercing that everybody else, it closes on, but mine stays open forever. You're an exception. You're not, for one reason or another, your body has a tolerance for that piercing. You are not the norm. The next one is lifelong piercings. These are piercings that can be done, have a long track record of healing, and a long track record of people wearing them. Basically, it's a situation where it'll heal well, little or no problems, it's well established, and if you keep jewelry in it, you could have it for the rest of your life. This pretty much covers everything else as far as established piercings. Most ear piercings, nostril piercings, septums, even oral piercings, torso piercings, and a lot of genital piercings. So those are the piercings that if you maintain it, you keep the jewelry in, you can have it for the rest of your life. The thing about lifetime piercings is if you do remove the jewelry and leave it out for an extended period of time, with the exception of those few people that can keep it open forever for one reason or another, the body will begin to constrict the piercing and close it. So even though you've had that earlobe piercing for 5 years, if you take it out and leave it out for a couple of months, you may have problems getting that jewelry back in. That's the thing, is they can be lifetime piercings, but it's your choice and your responsibility to keep that jewelry in there and keep it open. Next one is high-risk piercings. These are piercings that, yes, they've been done for a number of years. Yes, they can heal on a majority of people, but at the same time have high risk of rejection, migration, scarring, other problems. These are piercings that may last for a short period of time and then suddenly give you trouble. They're a little different from surface-to-surface piercings, but I guess the most common one with this one would probably be the eyebrow. Though I've had mine for close to 30 years with no issues, there are a lot of people that after about 5 or 6 years, for one reason or another, it gets knocked around enough, or they put the wrong jewelry in, or what have you, it'll start rejecting. Other piercings can do this, even nipple piercings over time. So they're kind of more high risk of rejection, so they're not really a full lifetime piercing, but they could be for most people. But they have that little extra risk. The other type are oral piercings where they're in contact with teeth, gums, and the bone structure in your mouth. They may need to be removed mainly because they're causing damage. to the surrounding area of the piercing. So this is another thing that's in that high-risk area. And one of the reasons why you need to know all the risks before getting a piercing done. I've had clients that have had oral piercings, especially tongue piercings, for long periods of time without causing any damage, but that's not always the case with most people, especially with anything that is lips, labres, medusas, snake bites, all the groupings, etc. They tend to have more of a less than great track record when it comes from keeping away from your teeth and gums. It's just one of those things where if it's starting to damage the area around it, the jewelry has to be removed. Now let's move on to the next category that I'm going to refer to as temporary piercings. Temporary piercings would include surface-to-surface piercings, single point piercings, dermal anchors or microdermals. These are piercings that are done on flat surfaces of the body, meaning things like your cheek or the anti-eyebrow that's really famous, or surface trachea, or sideburn piercings. The little cute gemstone next to your eye, the back dimples, the ones that are right here in the center of the chest. All of those are piercings that, yes, you could probably have it most, I'd say on average, maybe 5 to 6 years. But the reality is that once they get caught and your body is given the ability to remove them and reject them, it will do so. They will leave deep scars in most cases also. So you need to consider this before getting them done. They're not a lifetime piercing. You can't change the jewelry. It doesn't matter how well you take care of it. There's always that possibility and always that trigger that's going to cause rejection. So I would refer to those as temporary piercings. Surface-to-surface piercings, they tend to be more prone with the surface bars to rejection at a faster rate than I would say the dermal anchors, but they're all kind of grouped together. They all have the same kind of issues. The biggest thing with surface piercings or surface-to-surface piercings, single-point piercings, and dermal anchoring and that type of piercing is that jewelry needs to be removed as soon as there's any sign of rejection. Once you start seeing it, it should be removed immediately. And I'm going to talk about the last thing, and this one you probably won't come across very often, but it's a question that people new to it, I think, come up. I get asked more often than people that have been around for a while. And that's things that are, I'm going to call them play piercings. The most common one would be the corset piercings. We've all seen them, the beautiful thing on usually a very attractive female back with rings and then ribbons tied through it. These are piercings that are done basically just for the event, just for the sole purpose of that. After they're done, that is never going to heal correctly, and the jewelry needs to be removed because it's going to cause massive scarring if you don't. The other method is more in the, I guess, S&M, BDSM kind of grouping, and that's play piercings. People that get just a needle injected for the pleasure of getting that piercing or displeasure, depending on who you are, and it is removed immediately, and there's very little scarring. So it's not really a common thing, but it's a common question we get asked, especially about those corset piercings. It seems like every 3 or 4 years they come up in some Instagram post or TikTok video or something, and then we get calls for it. So understand, that is not something that's meant to last. It's not built to last. It's all temporary. And the biggest thing with these play piercings is no matter how well you take care of it, no matter what the quality of the jewelry is, etc., placement, anatomy, blah, 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 it is never going to heal. It's never going to heal. Your body is going to do absolutely everything it can to make sure it gets out of there. That's it. That's all I have to say on the lifespan of most piercings and kind of how we break them down and how we think about them. If you have any questions, maybe I said something that confused you, please leave a comment. Happy to answer it when I have time. Also, you might want to check out some of our other videos because I may have already answered it. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I would love to see you for your body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in that next video.